Hey, welcome back, modelers. So today we're going to do a review on some sprue nippers. I have a couple of samples that were sent to me by Stedi. So I got their Ultimate series and then kind of some of the more basic ones. So we're going to see, do those stand up to God hand? Or is it just a lot of waste of money? Or, you know, possibly be just as good for half the price. So let's see. Alright, so as you can see, I've got a couple of different models here from Stedi. I've got the ones that I was trying out before that I bought on my own dime, and then I've got the two new ones that they sent me. So this is one of the more basic ones. This is the MS-103, MS-106, MS-109, or their Ultimate pair. Where we get in here. So what do you get? Prices are actually fairly close, surprisingly, but there is some differences in them. One thing that you get into is the packaging, as you can see. Both of these have pretty similar packaging. The other thing, too, is the cover. The cover on this is just a little plastic cover. I don't even know where it is. This you get into one of these little cases, but it's quite a bit cheaper, thinner. You can see it's pretty thin. So it kind of probably does the job, but not the same as the Ultimate. You can see here you get into possible real leather, I don't know, but much better quality in the cover that it comes with. Then this, you got the extra spring, which I don't know, I've never had to replace a spring on any of my nippers other than the one that uses like a bar, so that's cool. But Ultimate has that as well, and they look a little bit different when it comes to the spring. I don't know if they did anything different there. And then it comes with the Allen wrench for adjustments, which maybe this one did and it fell out. I don't know. But pretty standard Allen key. So definitely different packaging. Is it worth it for the packaging? Probably not. A lot of you are probably just going to throw this away. But definitely cool looking for the Ultimate. And go over a few different things with how it's an anvil and blade kind of cutter and a little bit of technology with it. It's always interesting to kind of look at this, like, due to the sharp clippers, please put them out of reach of children to avoid unnecessary injuries, which, yeah, I guess. So, yeah. Not suitable for cutting metal parts, ABS resin, transparent parts, which we're going to do anyway, things like that. Things that we're probably going to do. Okay, so packaging, yeah, probably not necessarily worth the money, but what about the actual materials that you're getting into? That's where there's a little bit of a difference. So you get into the higher end ones, and the steel becomes a little bit different. I'm not a materials engineer, so I have no clue the difference on them, but I'm assuming stronger as you go into the higher ends. Now, how necessary, I don't know. I'm pretty abusive with my tools, but I've had this God hand for like a year and a half and still rocking, so I'm not too worried about longevity. Don't know about warranty. It doesn't specify on it particularly, but they're probably going to be pretty similar when you're using it. I don't know. Could be, so far with communication with the Stedi people, they're probably a lot easier to reach, is my guess, but who knows? So I can't really confirm anything on there. Now, the big difference where you're actually going to want to invest the money is talking about the blades on these. So on screen you can see there's a difference in the thickness of the blade. So thinner blade, better cuts, right? Just kind of almost like getting into with this, you get in like a scalpel, where this is more an X-Acto knife. Is it worth the extra? Well, let's put it to the test. One thing that I noticed, I was just chopping off some Tamiya parts, and I didn't really notice much of a difference between any of them. So pretty close, pretty smooth. I couldn't really tell. Now, when I got into this old Revel kit that I'm working on, technically it's an old box, old tooling, but it's new boxing of like a 50-year-old kit. I had a part where I was chopping off with the 106 and it went flying, which never had with God Hand. So that was a little bit alarming. Now, some of that, it might be a fluke, because I've been chopping a bit with this and can't really notice. One other thing that I noticed that is a little weird with the 106 is the blade opening, you can see, is much smaller. Not sure if I got a weird one or if that's common. They drilled this post in a different spot. I don't know. But that became a little bit different and is a little annoying on some things. But you're probably not going to be using your high-end clipper to be chopping off an entire piece of sprue like I'm about to do. But my loss is your gain. So let's see how this chops. Actually, this one was pretty good. Not bad. So it mashes a little bit. Not the smoothest, but decent. So I don't know. We'll also put in some of the clear parts and see how they work. But you go over to the Ultimate and it's definitely smoother. You can feel smoother cut with it. And so in the end, that's going to be better when it comes down to actual cutting and not messing up your part. So that's where we get into that. And then God Hand, nearly identical as the Ultimate Stedi. So there's that. Not much that I could tell here, but for whatever happened, this one I'm not as impressed because of the opening, and I lost a part because it went flying the way it sprung the part off on me. Haven't been able to replicate that though, so I don't know what's going on there. Let's get into some brittle stuff. The stuff that the manufacturer says on the packaging you should not do, but like I said, I don't care at this point. So let's do the 106. When I cut the clear part here, yeah, you can definitely tell the difference. That very much snapped it. It was under tension. Not good. So I go to the 109, which is also an excellent aircraft, and that one actually did a little bit of the same, but I do have a little bit of slicing. It might be just that this is very brittle. Maybe I'll grab some Tamiya clear. With that, not bad. Let's try the God Hand on this same. Okay, so God Hand does do a little bit better and was a little smoother. Let's try it again. Try with this. Okay, that was pretty smooth. Yeah, so pretty comparable. I don't know if it's worth the extra money on there. So let's try then cutting these parts close. See how they work. So with the Ultimate, have to actually look at it for a sec to see where I actually cut it, because it did pretty well. So you can see right there, no damage, obviously no cracking, so you get a pass for there. Let's go with the 106. Pretty comparable. Oh. God Hand and definitely more silent. Okay. Yeah, all passed through there, so I don't know. Let me grab, let's do some Tamiya plastic and see if anything becomes different on that. Okay, so I don't have Tamiya right nearby me, but we're going to use Kotare. It should be pretty high quality. So let's check some cuts. This time let's do the 103. Okay, definitely a snapping effect. Okay, 106. You got it. It is annoying that I can't get on there, but whether or not I'm gonna chop something this big. Okay, I'm gonna have to put a... That's what's weird. This one, it seems like I had to put a lot of force. But I think that just might come down to leverage, because I'm having to cram it into there and all that. So I don't know what's weird with that 106. I'd almost be tempted to just see if I could pop this pin out and let it over travel. I don't know. So 109. Okay, definitely improvement. Definitely improvement there. And then, okay. So let's cut some more, because that God hand actually didn't do as good. Okay, but now you're there. So, yeah, pretty similar. Yeah, anyway. And as far as the owner's manual too, because I know I'm going to get this on the comments, but I should be cutting further away and then snipping off the remainder. That's the ideal because of tension and all that. So like, FYI, if you read the instruction manual, should be chopping more like this, relieving the tension from the tree and then removing the excess. It's technically how it should be used, but yeah. So, chopping it from here. Removing excess. Yep. So, is it worth the extra money? I don't know. I have them all, so I mean, obviously, but whether or not I'd go back and spend the money, I don't know. Definitely a bargain, seeing how when you have the Stedi, it is very, very comparable in quality for a fraction of the price. And put on some Amazon links, not an affiliate or anything, so you don't have to worry about anything with that, but just so you can easily find their store. And you can take a look at a few things with that on Amazon. I think you can get it like practically in next day or 2-day delivery, and that's pretty cool. That's hard to find with some God hands and some of the other stuff. So hopefully that helped. Yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want me to test. There is a few things coming in the mail that I'll be showing you guys, and we'll have my first video of the Tamiya F-35 and the Aggressor camo started up pretty soon. Until then.